Hi guys, today I'll be talking about 5 important lessons that I've learned as a 26-year-old Filipina in Thailand. By the way, I'm Jamrell, so I've been here for 9.5 years na. 7 years ako nag-aral dito from elementary to high school at 2.5 years ako nagtatrabaho dito as a marketer for an international school. Now, this is episode 1 of my Muni Muni series where I just talk and share things that I've learned as a Filipina, as an OFW in Thailand. Because I love to talk, pero wala akong makausap. So, ikaw na lang yung friend ko. I hope you enjoy. The first important lesson that I've learned from being here is that if you want to improve, you need to change your environment. And I personally saw this from my parents. 17 years ago, my parents decided to move to Thailand. They're both teachers, guys. And honestly, that is a stable job. Teaching is a stable job. You know, there will be income because there will always be children and there will always be students every day. Pero reality is, in the Philippines, ang baba ng sahod for teachers. And honestly, it's not enough. Dalawa kami ng ate ko, pinapaaral, and may utang pa. So, ayun, when my mom got the opportunity to move to Thailand to work here as a teacher, she grabbed the opportunity. And from that, in a way, nag-improve yung life namin. Pero now that I am an OFW, guys, I really realized yung hirap. Before, when I was here, yes, mahirap siya adjusting to another culture. Pero when you're a student, there are no financial responsibilities. If something is wrong, something happens, then you just go, Ma, may problema ako. Paano to? How do I solve? Pero when you are the adult in the family, ikaw yung nag-earn ng income ng family, a lot of responsibilities on your shoulder. And when you're in another country, guys, it's very stressful kasi unlike sa Pinas na you know the culture, you know the food, your family is there, may support ka, may mga friends ka. When you're here in a country that doesn't speak your language, especially if you don't know the culture, nakaka-anxious siya, guys. When you go out and you see the signs and it's all in Thai, and you don't know if you're going in the right direction. And if you want to ask for directions, hindi nakakapag-English yung mga drivers, hindi nakakapag-English yung mga nagbebenta ng pagkain dyan, yung mga street food vendors. Sometimes nga yung mga security guards nahihirapan pa, especially na sa probinsya kami ng Thailand before, hindi kami sa city, sa capital city, hindi kami sa Bangkok nag-aral. It really is a challenge, it's difficult, pero because you are challenged, you are forced to improve. And that's what being in another environment really changes, or really, that's how it really changes you. And personally for me, nung tapos ako mag-high school, I went to college in the Philippines. Umuwi ako ng Davao, guys. Kasi hindi ako nakapag-adjust na maayos dito. So, I moved to Davao and then nag-graduate ako, nag-college ako. And I could have stayed because honestly, that was one of the happiest years of my life, guys. Nung nag-aral ako sa Davao ng college, I swear, I was super happy. I could finally understand the people. I could relate to them. I could understand the jokes. Pero nakita ko rin yung same thing that my parents saw, na if magtatrabaho ka sa Pinas, especially as a fresh graduate, ang baba ng sahod, guys. As in, hindi siya enough to survive unless talaga, may support ka talaga from family. So yun, I decided, okay, even though ang hirap ng buhay sa Thailand as an OFW, as a Filipina, I will take the risk. Pupunta ako dito because I know that there are better opportunities. And yes, nahihirapan ako. I am the only Filipina sa office kasi I'm not a teacher. I am a marketer. So nagma-market ako. I am a copywriter and content strategist. I am with all Thai coworkers, guys. Thai silang lahat. And minsan yung iba sa kanila hindi nakakapag-English. So I have to learn Thai. I really have to study it. And yes, mahirap siya. Pero you know what? I think I've seen growth. And that's something that I'm really grateful for the opportunity to learn and to grow. So, I'm not saying na mag-abroad na tayong lahat, no? I'm just saying na if you're not improving, maybe it's time to move. If not another country, another province, or kahit sa workplace mo, another department, diba? So, go where the opportunity is and go where you can grow. Lesson number 2 is to just start. So, personally for me, I learned this through a lot of trial and error. Actually, guys, I am really into creating my own things, to business. If you can say, I've tried lots of business ideas. When I was in elementary, nagbebenta ako ng yema, brownies, cakes, and nung college ako, nagbebenta ako ng mga soap, skincare galing sa Thailand. Nagbebenta din ako mga clothes, mga gowns and dresses. And nung graduate ako, when I was in Davao kasi COVID, I love to read. So, mahilig ako sa books. So, I started Davao Reads, which is I sold second-hand books online. I bought them sa yung mga book sale, and then I resold them. I packaged and resold them. Pero at the end of the day, I realized na I loved reading the books. Pero I didn't like selling the physical books. Yung you have to worry about yung shipping, yung packaging, tas you have to go to mail it, and then you also have to budget yung cost ng shipping, delivery, and all that. And then I realized na I loved creating. I wasn't fond of the logistics of having a physical product. Doon, I started making YouTube videos, and I just started. If I hadn't started this, I would have never figured out that I am very passionate about this. So, 3.5 years na akong nagva-vlog. Pero if you think about it, and if you look at my channels, 3,000 subscribers pa lang ako, guys. If you think about that, ang baba, 2.5 years is ang baba ng subscriber count. Parang almost every week ako nagpo-post ng videos. Pero I've found it. I've found something that I like. So, what if I tell you, you are only 30 failures away from discovering something that you will like and you will succeed at? Diba? You will really try to fail as fast as you can. And you would never fail and get to that point of success if you never start. So just start lang. And if you think about it, this is the youngest you will ever be. Whether you are 50 or 60, you are just going to get older from here on out. So might as well try. Lesson number 3 is that if something is hard, that's good because it means there is lesser competition. I personally saw this when, 2.5 years na ako nag-YouTube. And I started making short form kasi short form videos meaning TikTok, Facebook Reels because I have friends na into that content creation and they're very successful. Pero nahihirapan sila mag-transition from short form to long form because iba yung work that it takes to make short form videos. For me, nagaling ako sa YouTube na long form, grabe yung pag-edit, grabe yung preparation, and you really need proper equipment. Madali lang sa akin gumawa ng short form kasi when you make YouTube videos, mga 10 to 20 minutes to. Pero yung short form, mga 2 minutes lang, maximum 3 minutes, diba? I found that it's very easy to make TikTok videos. Pero that's also the disadvantage because very low yung barrier to entry, which means everyone is doing it. Everyone can do it. Whereas if you do YouTube, it's difficult to do, so there is lesser competition. And yun, na-realize ko na, okay, I'm okay here. Mahirap siya. Pero that means na there is more space for me. Kasi, yes, marami ng successful, pero it's actually harder to make successful or nice YouTube videos compared to short form. So yun guys, I've also learned na we overestimate what we can do in 1 year, pero we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. So it's basically just doing something difficult and just going and sticking through it. If it were that easy, everyone would be doing it. If it were that easy to be famous and rich, then everyone would be famous and rich. But it's not. Because when you're doing something difficult, it weeds out the people who are not willing to put in the work, to put in the long-term work that it takes to become successful. Fourth lesson as an OFW in Thailand is that it's not about how much you can make, it's about how much you can keep. My God guys, ito yung one of the most important lessons for me. Personally for me kasi I like to make money. I like to work, I like to make content, and I've tried different business ideas as I've told you. Pero at the end of the day, parang konti lang yung naipon ko, konti lang yung na-save ko. And I was thinking, saan na yung pera ko? All those years na pinaghirapan ko, parang wala lang. Ganun. There's always something to pay for. There's always some place to go to travel to. Graduate na kami ng ate ko. And my parents are in the US. They're earning more. Wala akong, I'm not a breadwinner. Although nagbibigay ako ng pera, I give money to my relatives, especially yung mga pinsan ko nagka-aral pa. Pero I'm not obligated. And wala akong utang. So all the money that I earn goes to me. And I spoil my family every now and then. But I haven't saved up a lot. That's an important lesson for me is to save and of course, to be financially literate. Meaning you teach yourself. You learn ang daming resources online, guys. Learn how to handle money. Kasi no matter how much yung blessings na ibibigay ni Lord sa'yo, if you don't know how to keep that, if you don't know how to handle that, mawawala pa rin yan. And that's something that has happened to me na. And if you were to take something away from this video, I hope it's this. You educate yourself how to keep money, what to do pag you get your sahod. Where does a percentage of your money go to? Yung how much percentage by for emergency, how much for investment, how much for your daily expenses, and how much yung percentage for yung joy mo or happiness mo, panggala, pang milk tea, pang kape. Ayun, it's not about how much you can make, it's about how much you can keep, which is really harder kasi it's easy to make money, but it's also very easy to spend as well. The fifth and last important lesson that I will be sharing to you guys today is to outwork your self-doubt. I have a favorite entrepreneur or businessman. Ang name niya is Alex Hormozy, and he said, confidence is not about shouting affirmations in the mirror. Confidence is having an undeniable stack of proof that you are who you say you are. So, outwork your self-doubt. When I started making these YouTube videos, sabi ko sa sarili ko, I'm not confident. I'm not good. Shy ako. I'm very introverted. And honestly, maybe I'm not that good. Pero after hearing that quote from Alex Hormozy, na-realize ko na, maybe the reason why I'm not good is not because I'm incapable, pero I have not put in enough work, repetition needed to become good at this. So may mga vloggers akong nilulook up to, guys. Sila Dave Gino, JM Bangkisho, and just recently si Marvin Samako. Basta si Marvin, I forgot his family name. I love their vlogs and I love binging on their videos. Pero sometimes tinitignan ko na, mas maganda pa naman yung vlogs ko. May animations, transitions, may pa-background music pa and all that. Pero why are my vlogs not doing well? And then I looked at their channel at kinumpare ko sa channel ko. Their channel has over 700 videos. Tas yung sa akin, less than 200 videos, guys. From that alone, you can see how much work that they put into their channel compared to mine. In a way, arrogant siya pakinggan na, mas maganda yung vlogs ko when they have put in more effort compared to mine. So, doon ko rin na-realize na, okay, I just need to make more videos. I just need to put in the reps. Honestly, I think it makes me really happy then, knowing na you don't have to have any special talents na super loud ka and all that to be successful or to do well on YouTube. It just means you have to outwork your self-doubt, you have to outwork the competition and be able to do this for a very, very long time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Because we overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 10 years. So for me, guys, I plan to do this for the next 20, 30 years of my life. Hanggang kaya ko pa. Until 60 years old ako, makikita niyo ako dito. So subscribe kasi you will see my face anyways. So yun lang, guys. Outwork your self-doubt. And it's very refreshing to know that I don't have to be super talented. I just have to be hardworking. Yeah, it's not about being the best. It's just being able to work super, super hard. We don't do what we want. We do what is required. And sometimes what we think is good is yung 2 times the work, 10 times, but maybe what's needed is 100 times the work, 100 times the effort. And I'm willing to do that for this channel kasi I found joy and happiness and I really love this. I really love making videos. So, yun lang, guys. I hope you found value. If may natutunan kayo or if there's anything that you'd love to share, please put it in the comment section below. I love to hear what you think and baka we can discuss that in the next episode. So, yeah, that's the Muni Muni series, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. God bless!